Hey, Printlife, welcome back to the podcast. Your host, Bruce from Printavo. We got Mr. Stephen Farag. All right, I'm just rushing through this because we were talking about something cool.
Supercolor. Supercolor is the world's best heat transfer. Supercolor is made using both digital and screen printing techniques. Bruce and I got a tour of their facility. It's something else. It's like they're making Teslas in there or something. Why? Their digital process prints brilliant colors that make graphics pop. Backed up with screen printed white ink that gives amazing stretch and durability, second to none. We use Supercolor in our shop every single day. They are super fast, super easy, and Rum and the team over there are absolutely crushing it. Thanks, Supercolor. If you'd like to experience them yourself, use promo code Printavo15 and get 15% off.
Graphics Source. If you need a solution to improve art efficiency and reduce costs in that department, Graphics Source is the team that you want to use. It's really cool. If you use Printavo, if you don't use Printavo, they'll plug right into your art process, and they help you with separations, mockups, creative, order management, digitizing, and they have awesome customer service too. So you actually chat with your artist, and it's really consistent. I know you use them a lot, Farag.
We use them, and Nick and Rob actually came to visit our team last week, stopped in the shop, and Rob's got some cool skills. He can call out any Pantone if you point at it. So that was pretty cool. Thanks, Graphics. You can use 50% off your first vector, separation, or embroidery order. Just mention the Printavo podcast. Thanks, guys. Easy Way. You shouldn't spend all day cleaning dirty screens. Easy Way's line of environmentally conscious chemicals will get the job done faster, more efficiently, and will cost you a fraction of the cost per screen. Alex and the team at Easy Way have been awesome to work with. We personally use 842, 701 in our shop. Easy Way is truly the easiest way. Bruce, have you heard of Multicraft Daddy?
Who's that?
Well, why don't you tell us?
If you need ink, supplies, or Daddy, Multicraft screen printing and digital supplies for over 50 years, I have been providing you with awesomely top brands at competitive prices. Make sure to mention Printavo Podcast because you'll get 10% off your first order. That's Multicraft_Daddy on Instagram. If he gets to, how many followers does he have now?
I think he's at 396 as of this morning. Let's get him over 400.
What will he do if he gets over 400?
400 is like 4 more followers. He's going to get that like tomorrow. But we want to see
he'll shave
him.
His head. Dave will shave his head.
I don't know if I want to see that.
All right, guys, let's get back to the episode.
And we're talking about marketing funnels.
Yeah, so our problem from a marketing perspective is that, yes, I love doing content. I love helping the space. That is great. Now we have a new CEO, James Armijo, which we actually probably should have on the show. He's got a very cool perspective. But like he's like, all right, cool. Like, how do you think you can grow more leads, like more sales? Like, how do you turn it up another 20%? I was a little bit stumped because I was thinking, that's a good question. I think this is where shops are like, well, we were very reactive to inbound sales, but now how do we grow through outbound? And we've never exercised this muscle before. So
someone, I don't know. Do you ever use a marketing funnel, Bruce? Like, do you look at, so I think John Amato taught me this once when we were talking about like ads and stuff and, Facebook tracking and pixel tracking. Is basically saying like, you have this funnel. The people at the bottom of the funnel are your most loyal, best customers. Yeah. You don't really have to do much with them. You don't have to market to them. You just have to support them. And then like the higher up you go in the funnel, you go a couple stages up, you're going to have customers that might buy from you once, but they need to consistently be nurtured, right? And then you might have customers that have gotten a quote from you, but have never checked out or never converted. And then you have customers that like know about you, but they have never bought from you. And then you have customers that don't know about you and have never bought from you.
It's like super warm to super cold.
Super warm to super cold. So the marketing in every single step of the funnel is completely different. Meaning like when you are trying to get people to just learn who, like say you're talking to people to just, let's use Printavo for example.
Yeah.
If you are a shop but you don't know who Printavo is because you live under a rock, it's your marketing team's job to go to those rocks, flip them over, and just say like, hey, we're Printavo.
Right.
But if you are a shop that knows who Printavo is but isn't using it yet, the marketing is much different than just raising awareness, right? So I think the same rules apply in any business. It's the hardest type of marketing is getting someone who doesn't know anything about you, doesn't know you exist, and getting them to buy. But you can't just do that overnight. It's this gradual, like, you're constantly pushing people
working
down
them
your
down
funnel.
the funnel. Interesting. I wonder if the money is best spent though on the warmest, starting at the warmest, and then go up, versus opening up.
So
the top
what
of
you're
the funnel
saying
more.
is interesting. So if you took 20% of your customers that
let's say you
generate
have
80%.
$1,000 a month to spend on some sort of marketing, and you're like, I want to get the best ROI from this $1,000 a month. Where would you spend $1,000 in marketing a month?
This is really interesting. We were just Adam Cook and I were just talking about this because we just made a pretty big investment into a massive partner in NIL. Like, it's huge. It's going to open us to something like 70,000 athletes, 70 Power 5 schools, and it's really expensive. I mean, we're talking like it's over $20,000 a year. Let me just put it out that way, right? And we were looking at it and we're just saying, like, would it be better to give away $20,000, or would it be better to buy this package and have the ability to market to 70,000 people, right? Like,
and by the way, NIL is like this new collegiate athlete like marketplace that's opened up because NCAA lets athletes make money, for folks listening. But so wait, how did you evaluate that?
so we looked at it and said, would we make a bigger impact if we put out a contest and gave away $25,000, right? Like, if we use that same amount of money and we gave it away,
Yeah.
could we, like David Dobrik style, right? Like, he gives away Teslas.
Yeah.
Could you do more with that? But more importantly, like, what if you invested some of your marketing money into your customers and just like made them like super loyal customers? So if you knew that, I think what you were asking, Bruce, is if you had, your top 20% of your customers and they generate 80% of your revenue, what if you spent that money on them first before
Right.
trying to get more customers? I would argue that probably will get a better ROI because they'll be more like, they'll spend more with you.
It's really, and like this takes me back to trade shows too, right? Because a trade show for us will cost $10,000. So if I don't have a direct measurable ROI on a trade show, for any type of show, ISS, MBM, sports, like anything, then it's just not worth our investment. Just like for any business, even though it feels like it should be. But I feel like even at a smaller size like we are, and like most shops listening, I feel like if it's not measurable, it's hard to really invest. Now, granted, we like doing content and stuff, which isn't the most measurable thing. So maybe I'm totally contradicting what I'm saying. I don't know. When I spend that money over and over again, I'd really like it to be. So when I think about, okay, if somebody gives me $1,000 per month, where do I get the highest ROI? It feels like it should be warmest to coldest still too, right? Like if they're the highest percentage of converting.
But I think your business is different because you're a subscription software company,
Right.
right? Like, print shops, you don't really have you when someone picks up a job from your shop, there's nothing to guarantee that they will come back to you next time besides the experience that you've given them. In software, it's a little bit different, right? Like, I don't think you can use the same thing because
where would you spend it?
I think I would spend it on retention, like on loyalty, like on your current customers. But I think it would be like finding people. How do we make our this whole 20-80 rule? How do we make it like 30% or 40%? Meaning, how do we get people that are starting to become loyal customers into loyal customers versus just trying to attract new customers? So I think it'd be spent in the middle of the funnel. trying to like push them down and make them super loyal. Isn't it easier to get a shop to upgrade than to get a new shop to sign up for Printavo?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 100%. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's not new customers. It's like you said, more focus on retention.
Like, what if you took every one of your standard plan shops, okay, and you sent them all a bobblehead and a handwritten note and said like, I love you. Will you please upgrade?
Marry me? Oh, yeah.
I would get rid of a lot of bobbleheads, but that personal touch might do better than being at a trade, like than any amount of marketing, right?
Yeah. Unless you know what? Okay, let me switch my thinking. Maybe it is better on extremely high top of funnel investment, because if you feel like you can convert well, like let's say if you just need more eyeballs but you know that you have a good funnel, as in I've got a good sales team, they convert probably half our quotes over to invoices as a rough number. All right, cool. I just need more people to see us and give us a shot.
But that's if you have really good tracking. Like you really know your numbers.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we're gonna go with account management then.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like a D2C brand and you know, like when John Amato was running ads and helping us out with the Illini store, he literally carved out different parts of, and he would call like, these ads are for prospecting and they're going to convert at 1 to 5, but these are like your middle funnel and they were converting at like 1 to 10 or whatever. That's like scientific, but until you like can get those, it's kind of hard to attribute.
Okay,
really
so let me
sales
turn up
to
the money
marketing.
then. What if it's $5,000 a month? What would you do to grow the business?
$5,000 a month. I would spend it on no Facebook ads, no Google ads. It would all be on one-to-one marketing and like gift giving for clients.
So $5,000 every month for a year, let's call it, of gifts to current clients, new clients.
I would probably
clients.
spend half of it on current, half of it on new. So like if you sent out 100 gift boxes to 100 prospects every month of like, just even if you imagine you printed stuff for, well, okay, let's say 5,000. Let's say you could only impress 50 customers a month and you actually sewed out their polos for them, laser engraved a water bottle for them and like gave that to them. You might have like bigger impact with those 50 than trying to spray and pray with like ads and stuff like that. I don't know.
Can I ask you a goofy question then on that? Why? All right, don't take this the wrong way, but why then haven't you done that now?
Because we're not as good at our jobs as we wish we would be. I have to say, like some of our best
it's like interesting to think about this. Like when I think about it meta like this, I'm like, okay, great, this makes total sense. But then why am I not doing it?
I look at some of our best sales, and our corporate and community sales. Like I need to have Jenna on here and Lindsay. They're like our unsung heroes because it's not sexy. It pays the bills. But they are like, they go out in the community and they like get in front of people and they like have gifts for everyone. And so like Illinois went to the tournament. And so their way of marketing was making like Illini gift boxes for our top customers. And so like it's unsung and it's not tracked. And it's just like the good old fashioned like relationships. But can you do that to scale? You know, I look at a company like Bumble, the dating app company. This is very interesting. They have such a good ambassador program and spoiling their ambassadors with merch.
Yeah, TikTok
literally
does that
every single month. What's up?
TikTok does that.
What company?
A lot too.
TikTok does that a lot, right? And it's literally just like getting them awesome swag and getting them a gift box and this experience, and then they open it and they post it, and like you can't quantify the value there as much as that one-to-one experience with such a big company makes such a big impact. I think that's why big companies like Monster and Bud Light, you always see the reps that they're spoiling and stuff. If you had $5,000 a month, how would you do it?
It's a good question. I think the biggest ROI for the business I would love to test is mail. I'd love to try
Interesting.
direct mail on new customers. We wouldn't get super far, unfortunately, with like engineering investment, just the sheer cost of an engineer. But I think I could get, you know, that's 5,000 letters or so per month. And I wonder if there's a lot of types of customers that you can directly target, at least for us, that don't, go on YouTube, that don't go on Facebook groups, that aren't on, hunting around or things that we can get in front
Under a
of.
rock, under a rock shops.
I mean, there's tons of, like, every time I'm at a trade, oh yeah, I never heard of you guys, whether it's new shops getting started and they just started a year or two ago.
But would
or
it be better? Okay, let me challenge you again with this. Would it be better to spend a little bit more? Say you could send 5,000 letters. Would it be better to send 1,000 boxes that were like a little bit more higher value or higher touch, like an actual experience?
I agree. So, and maybe it's like $10 each, and then you can only, and it's a lot more, memorable instead of a postcard that you throw out. Yeah, you're right. I definitely up it. So if you get, 5,000 individual letters, maybe you call it 15 a box. Well, you got to ship it and everything. Call it $20 a box. That's $250 a month. I think the only thing though, with gifts and things is that you have to follow up though too. If it's it's got to be either somebody following up or you have to send them something again to help drive the funnel to remind somebody.
Isn't it crazy? Like we get our box from Comfort Colors and like Bella Canvas, and like it comes with one shirt in it, and it's like this beautiful box that they probably spent $20 to get it to me.
Yeah.
But somehow they know that Campus Ink spends a lot on Comfort Colors.
Yeah, they're sharing the data from the distributors or however that works. But you're right. I mean, which seems like, is that for new, like they want you to try something new, or is it more of a thank you?
I'm sure somehow they know there's an amount that we spend there, and maybe they'll be sending something new, but like also, as the industry gets saturated with more pigment dyed shirts and there's other options out there, they're just reinstating their like, hey, we're here.
Right.
We're here, I don't know. That's like real marketing. I feel like we need to get some crazy marketing agency people on here that like really think through like, but really like on a local level, marketing is totally shooting from the hip. They're like, it's really hard to get true attribution.
It is. And that's for any size business. Like
sometimes the smallest marketing turns into a huge order and you're like, we got lucky.
Yeah, I kind of wonder too if the easiest way with the gift giving or with postcards or whatever is like offering value. I mean, I know everybody's seen Gary Vee stuff, but he has this one concept called like jab, 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 hook or whatever, or something like that. But the whole premise of it is like offer value, like 3 times or something before you ask for something in return. So everybody constantly sends all these like, look at me, here's a coupon code, use this, look at me, And instead it's like, hey, okay, if it's super relevant to them, it's like, hey, if it's maybe a university or school, it's like, here's like 5 tips to fundraise or, something like that. Or,
interesting.
Yeah.
So
and then
gift giving is almost the same as like adding value. Right. Like you could give someone a free shirt. You could give them a really nice blog on how to fundraise. It's a gift. It's a knowledge gift.
Yeah.
Printavo gives a lot of knowledge gifts. Thank you for knowledge gifting us, Bruce.
I like finding nuggets and stuff. All right, cool. I thought that was important to record.
That was a good one.
Hey, thanks guys for listening to this. I don't know if this is a podcast or just a review or something, but
is this a marketing riff?
This is just a riff. Thanks for listening to this riff. I'll see you on the next riff.